Welcome. This is the SCORE webinar on networking. And I'm Bill Petrovic. I am a SCORE mentor. I also take care of all the webinars and workshops. SCORE, as most of you know, because you've already had experience with SCORE, and that's why you're on our mailing list. SCORE is a volunteer organization. We do mentoring and education for entrepreneurs. And this is part of our education program, is doing webinars. We do free mentoring, and your invitation to this webinar indicated that you can go to our website, indianapolis.score.org, and sign up for mentoring if you like. 1 hour mentoring sessions with 2 mentors, and it's not a one-shot deal. You can continue a relationship with SCORE. Our speaker today on this topic of networking is Pavey. She is a professional in this area. Her motto is she will take you from stuck to stupendous. So listen carefully if you are stuck or if you're not quite yet stupendous. She's been a teacher and a coach her whole life. She's also had some businesses along the way. She's a certified kitchen and bath designer, owned her own company doing that. And today she owns her own company, which is called Today's the Day Coaching and Hypnosis. She's also written a book called The Guide to Powerful Networking and Strategic Partnering. At the moment, she's also running a networking group and a mastermind group. She teaches networking classes and assists individuals in improving their networking skills. She has attended Purdue University and has a master's degree from Ball State. And a few years ago was honored as one of the outstanding women in business in the Heartland. So we have a great speaker today, a great topic, and I know from my mentoring that successful networking is one of the key ingredients to growing your business, to having success in reaching more customers, and also just interconnecting with the community. So Patty, take it over, and I'll be watching for the questions using Q&A. Feel free to type in your questions, and I may interrupt Patty to mention those as she's going along or save them to the end, but we do want to encourage interaction as much as possible. We regret we can't do this face-to-face quite yet in the current pandemic, but the show goes on. So Patty, it's yours.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you so much. And welcome. I'm excited to be here. I love working with entrepreneurs, and I love working with young business people and helping people get things going. And one of the things that is close to my heart is networking. I think that the impact of networking is phenomenal in everything that we do today. Not just in your work, but in your community and how people see you. So I hope that and my tagline is moving people every day from stuck to stupendous. I appreciate you saying that. My journey in networking actually started, I taught school for a while in the high school, but my journey in networking really started during that time, but it expanded when I had my kitchen and bath business. And I was not sure about networking at that time. Networking wasn't being taught. Networking wasn't something that people talked about a lot, but I kind of learned by the seat of my pants. And so learning to be able to network with the people that I needed within that business, it just really layered everything so that I could move on to other businesses. So today I want to introduce you to these 3 people. These are 3 people that I have observed in networking, and I want to share just a couple of scenarios with you this morning. So if you, or afternoon, I guess, if you would listen, but I'm a referral, is a CPA. She's twins with not a referral, who's a realtor. and Lackluster, who's a home builder. And these three people are people that I have seen in a networking. So not a referral runs into Lackluster, and he says, how you doing? By the way, did you read the article in the newspaper about my business? Realtors for you. Boy, they sure don't know how to write good stories anymore. Did you read it? Lack replies, nope. Hey, I'm moving out of my house and looking to buy. My wife's leaving me. Any ideas? Nada responds and says, your wife's leaving you? Is she insane? You're such a great provider and a businessman. Lack says, yeah, she's certain she can find better than me. I don't know why. We have to sell the boat, the cars, the house, and divide up all the money. Do you know a cutthroat attorney? Nada says, nah, I don't know any attorneys. Have you met any at the networking event? Lack says, no, wish I could get this divorce behind me. She's keeping me awake at night with all the questions and complaining. Can't sleep. I need a doctor. Not a referral says, what a drag. Do you know anyone here? Well, Lack says, nope, just joined a year ago and decided to try one of these after-hour events to see who might be there. Haven't met any people. I don't know why. Not a referral says, I'm a senior member. I've been in this group since I started my business years ago. I know lots of people, probably at least 150. Not that I can say I trust all of them. I got 8 or 10 referrals in the past 5 years. Been kind of slow. I don't really know why. Lack says, well, maybe it will pick up when they get new members. Some of these old timers don't do much. Not a referral says, did anyone ever tell you that you have a terrible posture? You need to see a chiropractor. Sorry, I don't know one I can refer you to. Lackluster says, well, thanks for the constructive criticism, but I'll do okay. Not a referral says, gotta go, see you later. Good luck with that divorce. Lackluster says, wait, what's your name? Not a referral, here's my card. Call me if you need a realtor. I'm the best realtor around in the area. My business is booming and I'm on top in the sales. And the other people in my office, they're just so lame. They don't know why I don't know why I stay there except that it pays the bills. And by the way, my wife owns a car dealership. When you're looking for a new car, give her a call. Her name's Zero Referral. Lackluster says, okay, well, when I'm ready, I'll call you. Can I tell you what I do? As he lowers his voice and not a referral walks away. Now, Lackluster goes on and moves to another area where he recognizes some people visiting and talking. And he heads over to this area and spies, I'm a referral, talking to a lovely group of networking members. I'm a referral says, hello, I don't believe we've met before. My name is I'm a referral. What's your name? Lackluster says, Lackluster's my name and home building is my game. Not many people here. I'm a referral says, I love these events. Great opportunity to meet people such as yourself. Tell me about your business. May I have your business card? Home builders, did you say? Lackluster says, yes, we build homes. Are you looking to build? I'm a referral says, no, but I know lots of people and can refer you. Tell me about your business model. Lack says, well, right now it's not going so well. I'm going through a divorce and have to sell my house, cars, boat, so business has to wait till all of that gets settled. I'm a referral says, do you have a realtor? If not, may I recommend Cheryl Young? And how about selling the cars? I know a great auto dealer named Todd at Dixon Auto Sales. He's looking to buy used cars. I can provide you their contact information. Lackluster says, with surprise, that would be great. Ima says, how else can I help? Is your divorce attorney assisting with division of assets? If not, I can introduce you to Mr. Strong over there by the door. He's an amazing attorney. I'll email that information and make an introduction for you. My friend, Mr. Johnson, could help you with the appraisal process. When you're ready to be back in your business full-time, consider calling Ann. She's a coach. She's awesome at helping people overcome obstacles and getting back on track to achieve their goals. Lack says, you are amazing, Ima. Thank you so very much. We have to divide up the retirement accounts and find a new advisor. Do you know a financial advisor? Ima says, I'm glad you asked. Yes, I do. Jeff is a senior advisor with EW Investments. He's wonderful at helping people through life changes. I'll ask him to give you a call. Is that okay? Lack says, yes, that's okay. That would be great. I'm a referral says, by the way, when you get through this divorce, feel free to call me so we can get better acquainted. Maybe a virtual coffee. I'm a CPA and I can help you with your tax questions regarding your change in filing status and help with accounting in your office. Here's my card. Call me when you need me. I promise to help in any way that I can. Let's stay in touch. Is it okay for me to just touch base in a couple of weeks? In the meantime, what's your emails for the contact information I promised? Lackluster says, thank you so much. I'd appreciate getting to know you better. And please do give me a call in a couple of weeks. I've really learned a lot about various members. By the way, is there anything that I can do for you? Now, that is the way we network. That's the way it's done. That's the start of a successful collaboration and mutual rewarding relationship. They're scheduling an appointment, preparing to ask questions for that appointment. So how is it that we look at difference here between lackluster and not a referral? There was gossip, non-helpful comments, always being the point of view that for themselves, and it was all about me and not about meeting someone else. Criticism of other members, negativity. There was very little helpfulness with lackluster and not a referral. And then came I'm a referral. She was uplifting, wanted to help, focused on others, and people will automatically try to reciprocate. That's what this little in live time would be a skit that people do when I teach this section of networking. But it gives you the idea that what we do in conversation and how we meet people is so crucially important. So as I look at that and also look at what's the definitions of networking, Harvey Mackay says for most people, networking is learned behavior, like learning to swim. It is gradual and often painful, even scary process by trial and error, small incremental steps, and finally, a few breakthroughs. Now, I like Harvey Mackay, but I have one of my own. Networking is a process. It's a process of developing and activating your relationships to increase your business, enhance your knowledge, expand your sphere of influence, and serve your community. So when we look at this definition, and this is what you'll find in my book or anything else that I'm doing, but all of networking is around some major words and important words that are in this definition. First of all, networking is a process. You have to develop the process. You have to learn how to be a master networker. And today I'm going to share with you some forms and some activities and some paper that you can screenshot, and you're going to get a copy of this, I guess. So you'll have access to that information so that you can really work through what is your process and develop your networking skills. It's also, once you have those skills started, it's activating your skills, but also activating relationships. And that's what networking is mostly about, is all relationships. And also increases your business, but it increases your knowledge. It increases your sphere of influence. So there's, along with increase, is enhancing, and it enhances each one of those things as you work through and advance your networking. Knowledge. You will always be able to find new tips, new ideas, new suggestions with networking. I love taking a little different spin with some of the networking that I teach because it increases people's excitement, again, about networking. And COVID hit networking really hard because people were really liking the fact of just networking in person and going to this event or going to another event. But I do believe that we're going to get back to that. And in the meantime, there's really great ways that you can network online through Zoom and meet people from all over the country. It doesn't have to be just local, which a lot of people are used to or have done as far as networking is concerned, but it gives you the opportunity to meet those people. Rainmakers is another networking group that I belong to, and the opportunities to work with the people there and do virtual coffees and meet new people and be able to network and to share and to build those relationships, enhancing your knowledge, but expanding that sphere of influence through what we have the opportunity to do right now is tremendous. So I encourage you not to overlook that, but to look at how can I meet more people that way. Expanding your business is what we're talking about, and becoming an influence. You want to become the person that people want to call. They want to say, that person knows everybody. And so when you're that person that knows a lot of different people, but you don't know everybody. They presume you do because you know a lot of people. When you connect people, they have that kind of a reflection from you. Being that influence and increasing your influence is important. And I don't like to leave the word serve out either, because oftentimes it's serving our community. It's serving our sphere of influence. It's serving someone else and helping them move forward. So all of these are necessary to become a master at networking. Now, you're not born being a networker. It's definitely a learned skill. Some people are friendlier than others. Some people's personalities make them friendlier than others, but it's definitely a learned skill, and it's needed in the business for business success, even in the virtual world today. So what has to be done is simply sticking your neck out. Okay, it's sticking your neck out, it's practicing, it's watching others, it's becoming a good listener, it's developing those skills that allow you to stand out. And this giraffe definitely stands out in this neighborhood. Networking is all about relationship development. And it's always been, it always will be. Now, what we have done is we've created new ways to develop relationships. We are on the computer, we are using Facebook, we're using LinkedIn, we're using all of the different social media platforms. We're using a lot of different things to help us develop those relationships. But we're still meeting for coffee, face to face in most situations. We are meeting for coffee virtually. So it doesn't make any difference. It's developing those skills for yourself, but also developing the relationship. So networking is the first step to creating your strategic partners, referral partners, and finding your center of influence. And we're going to talk about the differences of each of those and how they incorporate within your networking and your business. But concepts and skills of networking don't change. The tools of networking have changed over the years, and some work better than others, and some work better than others for certain businesses. You find that out. One business uses a particular type of networking that works really well for them, and it may not work quite as well for someone else. So it's a matter of honing in on what things work well for you. But don't underestimate how you can reach a different clientele by sometimes using a different form of networking. So we're going to continue with relationship development no matter what we talk about as far as networking is concerned, because networking is all about developing that relationship. It's developing the know, like, and trust. And if you're taking any notes, just write those in great big letters: know, like, and trust. Because know, like, and trust is the whole basis for developing those strategic partners and referral partners and having your centers of influences expand. Because without know, like, and trust, networking is not going to go very far. Being authentic is really important in relationship to that know, like, and trust, and how you develop that with each person. It's not just gaining customers, but it's developing those partners that you're going to work with. One of the mistakes I think I see beginning networkers make more than anything is going to a networking event or being on a networking event and just trying to sell. And so that we don't want to instigate today or talk about it till the very end. How many of you have heard or have excuses for not networking? So put those in the chat because I want to discuss some of those. Bill, are we getting any in there?
Let's see. Yes, we are.
Okay. What are some of those excuses coming out?
Okay, I'm shy. I'm nervous.
Okay.
Another shy person. Oh, it's too time consuming. I tried it, didn't get any positive results. I don't know what to say. I can't meet anybody in person right now. I have anxiety.
Okay.
That's,
Good.
I think it's actually easier to meet people online than in person.
Yeah.
It seems superficial, fake, hard to connect. I guess we're running out of.
Well, those are awesome because they hit almost everything that, that I like to hit with that. And I don't have all those written down, but I want to hit a couple of them here. Is that, first of all, being shy. I have seen some really shy people learn the skills to network. And shy people have a tendency also to be, I don't want to say a perfectionist, but they like to have all their ducks in a row. And they like to know that what they're going to share, what they're going to talk about. And so learning how to introduce yourself, learning how to speak to someone else, all takes part of the shyness away, and it now becomes a process. And I find that shy people will do better with processes. And part of what I'm going to teach the rest of the day or the rest of the time is part of those processes. Inconvenience and taking too much time. I guess your time, what you spend your time on is increasing whatever you spend your time on. Now, I know that sounded very stupid simple. However, when we spend time networking will grow. When you spend time honing on your skills of networking, your networking will soar. Your referral base will soar. You start building the platform in which I'm going to talk about today. Oftentimes people say it's just selling, and networking is absolutely not selling, except that you are, in a sense, promoting yourself through know, like, and trust. So, people are overcommitted. Sometimes they're overcommitted with families and things like that. You don't have to belong to every networking group, and there are a lot of networking opportunities. What I like to say about that is that I'm glad there's a lot of opportunity to network. You don't have to take advantage of every opportunity. That's like saying, going to the grocery store and say, I'm going to eat healthy with fruits and vegetables, and you buy every fruit and vegetable that's in there. Well, that's not very realistic. And neither is networking in every networking arena. So one of the things that's important for you to remember there that I'm going to give you a sheet to work on in relationship to that is what's your target market? Where are your target market people networking? Where are they found? How can you get there? There are some networking groups that are specific to a type of business, and that's a great place to go and network. Now, remember, you're not networking for sales, you're networking for relationships. And when you build those relationships, sales will come. So let's keep going here. Networking is like dating. Networking is like dating. Now, I'm going to say that there's probably some of us on here that really don't remember too much about dating. I mean, I set a date with my husband occasionally, we try to do that once a week, but, we're in a committed relationship and we don't really pay that much attention to dating anymore, but you remember, okay? Dating was not fun for people who were shy. dating was not fun for people who didn't want to commit to going on several dates. Dating wasn't fun for a lot of people. And I think for the same reasons that networking is as well. But first of all, with networking being like dating, is that you have to ask to meet someone. And in the scenario I gave you when I opened, is how do you meet people? How do you have the right thing to say? You become acquainted by asking questions and sharing information. And when you share that information, you begin to develop a relationship. If you remember how Ima took control of the conversation and asking questions, she was developing that relationship, and she developed a great deal of know, like, and trust, if you remember in the scenario. Also with dating, you're finding commonalities, you're finding likes and dislikes, and you're finding the same thing when you network. You find out who and what you may have in common. So who are people that you have things in common with? You're going to find that to be true in networking, because oftentimes as you develop the strategic partners and you develop the referral partners, those things that you have in common may bring you together more often to be able to share clients with each other, to be able to share information with each other, to be able to share tips with each other, and to share support with each other. And those things all come out of finding those partners. You find out not only what you have in common, but you find out strengths and weaknesses of the other person. And in finding those strengths and weaknesses, oftentimes the other person or persons within this group that you're developing have the opportunity to help you excel in areas that you may not feel so strong in, and give suggestions. So networking is a process, and that's what it's not a thing. It's not a noun. It's not something that is out there that we can just grab hold of. But networking is something that we develop. You don't find a good partner by not doing these things in dating. And you're not going to find good partners in networking by not doing them either. Now, networking has been, or for some, strikes a chord of fear. And this statement at the top, I would rather than network. Those people that fear networking can put a lot of different things in that blank. Okay. And sometimes, it's beyond just butterflies in the stomach. It's beyond that whole idea. The whole idea is so full of fear. And I work with people that have major fears a lot. And one of those fears I've worked with are people that have a fear of networking. It's a fear of other people. It's a fear of, how they're going to be seen, or how they're going to be reacted to, and is anybody going to pay any attention, and it's all about me when we talk about fear. And so one of the things that I do recognize is that fear, until we understand that fear and we go beyond that fear and we step into fear to break it down and to accept making some changes, that can be done easily. And I don't mean easy, but easily into steps to make that happen. But I've seen people that they sweat profusely. They can't get their thoughts together. They're very nervous. Their blood pressure can shoot up. Their breathing is irregular. Some people just get physically ill. And so this is a reality. It's not, I don't want to slide over it. But what I am saying is that it can be changed. It can be changed. Now, one of the things that I find, and Bill and I talked about this earlier when we were talking the other day, but one of the things that I find with what I do and understanding the subconscious and the conscious mind is that I'm going to ask this question and I can't see any hands. So how many of you out there, when you grew up, and in growing up, your parents said, don't talk to strangers. Don't get in a car with a stranger. Don't talk to a stranger. And I know there's people out there that would be raising their hands. because I ask that same question when I teach live. What happened is that your subconscious has saved that as a definite, and your subconscious is full of those kind of things which create your limiting beliefs. And fear is a limiting belief when it comes to networking. That limiting belief is planted back there years and years ago when we were kids, and it said, don't talk to strangers. And now all of a sudden, those people that are assisting and coaching and working with you and being a mentor for you in starting your business and getting you out are saying, it's helpful if you talk to these strangers. So your subconscious is going, oh yeah, right. So it is a matter, let's recognize it as that so that we can reprogram that and say, you know, it's okay to be careful. It's okay to be cautious, but it's also okay to meet new people. Now, with people that have a fear of networking, and if you're not one of those, congratulations. You've either overcome it or you just like meeting new people. And that's me. When you're comfortable with networking, and even as you go beyond your fear in networking and become a networker more often, is what can you do to assist someone who you recognize is uncomfortable at a networking event? Because that's just, I believe some of these are responsibilities to those who enjoy networking and are good at networking. First of all, is if you recognize people that are, and this is terrible for us that are good at networking. And I know it's going to be a challenge when we get back together because we've not seen some of the friends that we had in networking for a long time. And so there's going to be a tendency to have a clique and bring a clique together. And those people just want to talk to each other and catch up, and they haven't seen each other for a long time. And it was a challenge before, and it will be even more of a challenge when we open up again, is that we need to pay attention and not be stuck in our little groups. We're not there to just visit and share with those people that we've missed, but we need to pay attention to those people that are walking in the door, that are looking around at the cliques and going, I don't fit in. Now the fear sets in. Now the uncomfortableness sets in. And that's where we need to be cognizant and watching people coming in, that you can see it. It's like a deer in headlight eyes sometimes. So step away from your group, be aware of them, introduce yourself, find out what they do, ask some of those, I'm a recruit, I'm a networker, looking at that, and ask some of those same questions, you know, what's your business? And ask them questions of that person, and then think about the people that you know that are there and who can you take them to and introduce them to and help make a connection. And that's where we need to step out of our comfort zones and connect. And it's also important to connect afterwards. Now, all that being said already is that we need a plan for networking. And so we're going to look at creating a plan of networking. This is an upside down funnel, and it's that way for a purpose, is that these are the steps and these are the processes that go into being a successful networker. And so when I take a look at the personal plan for networking, I'm going to give you a form today so that you can identify what your personal plan is, because that's one of the first things that goes into a funnel of becoming a better networker. The second one is utilizing the skills that you're going to learn here and that you'll learn in a lot of different ways in networking so that you can bring those skills together, implement your plan. And the third thing is building relationships. You're building know, like, and trust. Building that know, like, and trust is connecting with people, but connecting is more than just setting up appointments. You connect with people to develop know, like, and trust and rapport, is that you do what you say you're going to do. If I'm sending a message to someone and saying to them at a networking event that I'd like to connect you with this person, what's your emails? I'm going to send it to you. If I don't send that email and make that connection, then what am I doing to develop know, like, and trust and rapport with that person? So doing what you say you're going to do, and what you say to others and what you say to yourself. And so not only just being authentic and being honest with yourself and what you say, but being the same with other people. And sometimes we think, well, we're pretty good at that because we do it for other people, but what do we do for ourselves in relationship to that as well? And that all comes into networking skills because it's a reflection of you. When you're networking is along with those skills is building relationships, is offering value to someone. Not selling, but offering something of value. If in the conversation comes up, this is an actual experience I watched unfold, is a gal that was in, actually she was in a cosmetic company. And I saw her visiting with this top this top business person, and he actually was a CEO of a middle-sized company I knew. And they started this conversation, and what she asked him was, what's your biggest challenge right now? It was during the holidays, getting close to holidays. Now, what a great question to ask someone who you're wanting to get to know. And she said, what's your biggest challenge right now? And he shook his head and started to kind of laugh. And he said, you know what? My biggest challenge is I've got X number of employees and X number of people in the office, and I don't have any Christmas brought. Now, that was the first thing and the heaviest thing on his mind right now, obviously, or he would not have shared that. What she said to him afterwards was she said, would it be okay if I give your name to this person who runs a gift service? I believe that she can help you out economically and also take care of it in a timely manner for you. Would that be okay? And of course he said yes. And so she connected them. This guy spent tons of money with this gift buyer and putting gift sets together and bringing things in and delivering them. And there were gift wrap, and all he had to do was say how many and what he needed. And so she handled it really well. But back here is the one person who just gave the referral. And so she followed up close to Christmas and asked the gentleman, the CEO, she said, has the person that I sent to you been in touch with you, and have you been satisfied with that service? And he said, absolutely, I'm satisfied with that service. And then he asked her, why don't you come into my office and let's talk, because I want to know what I can do for you. So what we send out almost always comes back. I mean, that's biblical if you're a spiritual person, but it's also a part of the energy that we send out. So I tell people when I work with them is that if you go into a networking with the idea that I want sales, I want to meet people, I want something out of this today or this night or this morning, and that's the sense of going in with a fist. Your fists are closed. It's all about me and what I can take and what I can take out of here. But when you go into an event with your hands open and you're willing to give, you're going to fill your hands with things coming out, whether it comes out that day, next week, next month, or in the next few months. But it's all developing that part of rapport. So the thing is to share, even when you don't see whether or not anything's in it for you or not. The next one is scheduling time for getting acquainted. Now, you probably will not find a partner or significant other if you don't go through the dating process. And that's a part of getting acquainted and scheduling time to do that. The same thing's true if you want to develop deeper relationships with people in networking. Now, I am not suggesting that you schedule appointments with everybody, okay? But when you go to a networking event and you meet several different people, collect their cards if you want, but don't turn this into how many cards can I get that night? If you get 5 and there are 3 really good people you want to connect with, that's 10 times better than going around and speed getting 100 cards that night. And so I also encourage people when they're networking or going to a networking event, is, and you can do the same thing by getting the sheets out, getting the information from a Zoom meeting as well. I was on one earlier this morning, and we'll have a sheet with everybody's contact information, and a couple of us connected to even shared our email addresses with each other this morning. And so you can do that whether or not it's live or not. You just have to think outside the box a little bit and go, okay, how am I going to do that? Now, when you do that, it gives you the opportunity then to schedule a virtual coffee if you want to see each other. A lot of great conversations happen over the phone as well. And sometimes, we think we use Zoom for everything, but we really don't have to. And so being able to do that, you can even carry on a conversation on social media. But one of the things that Zoom does is it helps put that face to face, which I like in most cases. But you make them feel important in scheduling that time with them. Go to that appointment with 2 or 3 questions that you want to ask. When you schedule an appointment with someone to do a one-on-one or to do a get acquainted session with them, go to their website and check them out. Go Google their name and find out what they're involved in. There's ways to find out about people all over the place, but you can find out, a lot of information that way. And it gives you the opportunity then to craft your questions that you want to ask when you get together with each other. Now, the next one is developing and sharing relationships. As you develop and share relationships, this becomes the testing ground for the base of everything that happens in networking. This is where you deepen the relationships. You see that person more often. You talk to that person outside of networking. You find out who can be referral partners. Who out there knows people that would be good clients for you, knows people that would love to work with you, and is willing to give a referral. Who do you know that you can give to that person? This is a two-way street. Remember? Strategic partners are partners that go beyond referral partners. Strategic partners often start as referral partners, but strategic partners are ones that you make a regular appointment with, and sometimes it's a group of people. These people have similar clients, they have similar passions in the businesses that they work in. I have 2 groups of strategic partners. One group of strategic partners is, now he's in insurance, 2 of them are in mortgages, one's in real estate, one owns a restaurant, but we're all small businesses. And so we get together once a month, and once a month we have the opportunity with a key question to ask, and we share that information. We also then, a lot of times there's 2 or 3 of us that might stay after that time, and we've connected deeper with the people that we work with, and oftentimes there's a referral that's given. So there's some overlap of each of them, but strategic partners are set up so that they really get together, and they can be more than 1 or 2 people. It can be a group of 5 or 6. But referral partners are people that are always carrying your business cards. They're always able to ask a question because they know, like, and trust you, and they've developed rapport with you. They've gotten to know you. They know what you do well. And if someone they're talking to says, I am having some back issues and I really need a chiropractor. If you're a referral partner with that person, you're going to have their card and ready to give that out. So this goes back to one of the things that early networking groups did was they always had these card books, and they carried them around all the time. I find that awkward in today's market, but you can also have it on your phone. And so you take a picture of, there are apps that you can set up that you have people's information with you at all times. If sometime you're not, that's when you make that authentic offer to make a connection or to send someone someplace. And so referral partners become very much tied to loving your business and sharing in your passion, to the fact that they understand your passion. It's not their passion, but they understand what it is and they understand what you do well. So they are more than willing to really share it and to give that out. Now, this is this is the information for you for how to plan for your networking. And I know this looks really crazy. I'm also going to suggest, and this comes from mental work that I do, is that there is a huge connection between our hand and our head, okay, as well as the heart. But with the head to hand, if you write it, and I'm sure you can screenshot, make a copy of this, create one yourself. It's pretty simple. But the very center of the circle is a place for you to put your picture or your name or just say me. This is the time you get to say me with networking. Each of the green circles along the spokes these are people or professions that you feel would be good for you to connect with. So let's say that you are a mortgage broker, okay, and you're in mortgages. So that's what my business is. But who and what are businesses that would be good for me to connect with, to look for a referral partner, to look for someone who may have clients that are in need of what I have, and that it's not a conflict to what they have as a business. So mortgage brokers are going to look at probably several real estate companies or realtors that they can know. And so they may have 3 or 4 realtors that are going to take up 3 or 4 of those green little dots on that sheet. And so write that person's name in there. Now, another business that might be a good business for a realtor might be, and I don't have anybody brainstorming here with me, but one of them might be bankers. One of them might be the home builder. Maybe it's even outside of that. Think in terms of what your clients, potential clients, what are their needs? What's their problem that they're solving? What is it that they're working on? Would you find them in shopping at a certain place or spending time with certain people? This is something you can do in a group, or you can do this by yourself. I do this. I encourage people to do it by themselves, but I teach a whole segment of this and how to work this in another course. But this gives you the idea of how you begin setting that up. And then as you look at the orange colors, the orange is who you are introduced to from them. Okay, so if this one green spot on here has 2 orange ones, so I'm the mortgage broker, and Cherie over here is someone that I have developed a relationship with. She's a part of my business plan because I wanted that relationship, and now she's referred me to 2 clients that are potential people for mortgage. And then where does that person lead you to? And that person leads you to. What's interesting with this form is as you develop it, it doesn't mean that this is a work in progress, but this is the way you plan your networking. This is how you look at it as being something that's not just social. This is something that, yeah, there's going to be some social with it, and you're going to develop relationships and friends, and you're going to find a golf partner, and you're going to find someone else that has some of the same hobbies you do, and that's great. They may or may not be in the green circle, and that's okay too, as long as you're still focused on the green circles and looking for those people in professions or personal that can be a benefit to you, and you can be a benefit to them. It's a win-win, okay? And then looking at it, when you start this, and I encourage you to do this right away, is that take a look at your business. Look at what other businesses will have some of the same clients that you have, the same type of people that you have. I have a chiropractor that refers people to me and I to them a lot. And so you would I didn't think about that to start out with in my business, is that, oh my, I didn't think about them being such a great referral partner or someone that I really want to connect with. And so I've added more chiropractors to my green dots, okay, to get to know and to send information to and to try to connect with and to try to have a get acquainted session with. And so I encourage you to sit down and make a list of those businesses. Do this in pencil. I just don't believe in ever inking too much in. And so I like to be able to erase things sometimes or make change a little bit. And so start writing in those businesses. And then when someone shares with you, extend it out and draw another circle out there and highlight it in orange because they gave you a referral. When you do this and you network regularly, this sheet will be a phenomenal sheet for you to look back on, and you won't ever say to yourself, networking is of no value. It's a waste of time because you have a plan in which you can meet people. So I encourage you right now to take a moment and list 5 people that you would like to meet. Just 5. Just jot them down on your piece of paper. Now, I want you to also write down 5 businesses that probably have the same type of client that you have. And it may be some of the first 5, but list 5 more. They have the same kind of clients that you have. When you're listing these businesses, these are ones that are not competitive businesses. They just happen to serve the same kind of client. Now, as you begin to network with other people and in different groups of networking, this also is a great form to look at. And I would not keep this on my computer screen where I can shut it off and never pay attention to it again. I would print it and I would make it a working sheet that I had on my desk or on a pull-out drawer or someplace so that I can get to it and pay attention to it on a regular basis, because this is your plan of action. This is your networking business plan right here. And so this business plan is one that you look at before you go to a networking event. And so you've identified different types of people that you're looking at, different types of people that are in your sphere of similarity in relationship to what you do. And so this gives you the opportunity before you go to a networking event to have an idea of the kind of person that you're looking for. Also, when you do your introduction, which I'm also going to give you some recommendations for that today as well in a form that you can use that works beautifully, but it gives you the opportunity to plug those people in there that you're actually looking for. So when you ask at the end of your introduction, the type of person the type of client I'm looking for right now is, or this is what I'm looking for right now, being very specific to that. And so you can say that I am looking for chiropractors. I would like to get in touch with chiropractors, not for my own personal need, but I would really like to get to know them and create a strategic partnership with them or a referral partnership with them. And so it gives you the opportunity to ask specific. When you do your introduction and you just keep it broad, it's like with no specific person that you're thinking about, the people listening to you don't have a clue who to refer you to. If you say that, and this is a perfect example, Mary Kay Cosmetics was often part training, and I was in that for 20 years. And so I can speak from that. But part of the training was anybody that had skin was a prospective client. Well, I don't think so. Okay. That is way too open. If I told people at a networking event that anyone who has skin is a person I'm looking for, what happens is when that person hears it and takes it into their head, there is no funnel that says it's just a mass group of people. And so they lose concentration or focus in relationship to giving you any kind of referral. In the case of that, or any skincare company, okay, and a lot of other things that can tie into this, is that instead of saying that, is that I'm looking for professional women 45 and above who are concerned with that process of aging. Or I'm looking for teenagers from the range of 16 to 18. Now people can think, and even when I said that, you could feel your own self going, yeah, I could think of somebody. Okay. And this is what happens, is that if we're not specific with what we're looking for, our brain is too vague. It's splattered all over with all kinds of things and all kinds of people. The more specific you can be, not only in your plan, but also in what you're asking for, you will multiply the number of referrals you get over and over and over by doing that. Now, okay, I'm going to give you a minute right now to just kind of absorb this little chart. Be sure you've got your 5 people or 5 businesses and companies down so that you can work on this later. Now, in some businesses, you may have more than one area of people that you work with, okay? In my area of coaching and hypnosis, sometimes I'm working with smokers. Sometimes I'm looking with people that are concerned with weight management or want to lose weight or drop weight. I'm sometimes working with stress. I'm working with, kicking a business off and working with those people. I'm working with people that are wanting to know how to better communicate with people. Communication is something that I teach as well. And so when I do that, again, it's that specificness that we get to in relationship to who we want to connect with. So you can also have an introduction that you do that fits to whatever it is that you might be promoting right now. I'm just doing a promotion coming up on weight management. Okay. And so I just met with the gal today, and I said, this is what we want to target this time. So I want everything focused on that. And so decide what direction you're going, and then really to be able to multiply your success with networking is when you network, share that with the people that you're networking with. Ask them who they know. Who do you know that you've heard say something about? It's been hard to lose weight. It's been, the pandemic has I've gained 20 pounds and I need to take it off and I'm just frustrated. And so they can give you referrals if you ask specifically. So hope this is helping. What to say? We talked a little bit about that, but I want to go a little bit deeper in relationship to what to say. When was the last time you slowed down as an active listener and was fully present when you met someone new? Most people, when they're listening to someone else, are thinking about what they're going to share next when they get a chance. How many times do you hear people tell a story and the person that's listening or supposedly listening is putting together the story that they remember that they want to share next? This happens all the time. So becoming an active listener is really crucial. Using the back of someone's business card, if you meet them live, or using a sheet of paper if you're meeting them on as far as the internet's concerned. So if you're meeting someone, and be able to write their name and to write something that you remember about them. I find that writing something down and taking a note helps me keep my active listening status more alert than it is if I'm just listening, okay, halfway listening. So look at how you meet people and specifically write things down. Intentionally take time to connect with others. Really listen to learn, not listen to speak next. Small encounters can make a significant impact. Sometimes meeting someone in a restaurant, sometimes being introduced to someone when you run into someone else that you know, can be that small encounter that can make a significant impact to your business. Always being prepared with business cards, always being prepared with maybe something to give so that you can have that opportunity to make that small encounter grow. When you can sincerely explore their answers. This is crucial for you, and I jotted it out of line on purpose, is because sincerely exploring their answers in asking some of these open-ended questions that are below. What intention did you have in coming to this event? What's the challenge you have in your business? How did you get started in your business? What's one thing you would tell to someone starting up a business today? What's your favorite part of your business? What do you do to relax, or do you have a hobby? Having people answer these questions and listening to what they're saying, you can then, as you're listening, continue to connect with them by exploring their answers, by asking more questions in relationship to what they're sharing about their challenge in their business, asking if it's okay to make a connection for them, asking if it's okay if you make a suggestion to them. Refrain from saying, let me tell you how I think you ought to do this. Or let me tell you how I think, this is how I came out of this. Asking permission. Would you like to share something? I was in kind of a similar situation at this one time, but, would you like me to share some of the things that we tried? That has a whole different relatability to it than just being the one who's telling somebody all the time. So take a look at exploring their answers to some of these open-ended questions. Communication is not gained by asking yes, no questions. Isn't it a beautiful day today? Yeah. Now where are you going? Where's that communication going? So look at the questions that you create so that you can converse and talk with people. Now, looking at what I said a minute ago, having a target market, this is a part of determining what your target market is. So this form is one that was created so that people could take a look at their competition. Most of us have competition somewhere, okay? So think in terms of who are three of your top competitors, and look at what their strengths and their weaknesses are. So as you go through competitor 1, competitor 2, competitor 3, and then as you get down to the bottom is what are your company or your personal strengths and weaknesses? Be honest, ask somebody, ask your partner, ask your family, ask your best friend, ask somebody that you know in business, what do you think my strengths are? What do you think my weaknesses are? Because sometimes we're blinded by what we want to be our strengths and our and lack of weaknesses. We all have both. So using this form and creating that for people to be able to see what direction they're going to go and who they're going to be talking to. The second part of this, okay, which is kind of the back side of the handout, is what do your clients value? The people that work with you, what is it that they value about working with you? What are the things that are most important to them? What are their personal values? Because you're going to find some, take your top 5 clients and write down what you believe their values are. write down what are the things that are important to them, because those are the things that you want to expand on. Those are the things that your other 90 some percent of people that do business with you may not know about yet. So what are they striving to accomplish in their lives or in their businesses? What are their pain points? Pain points, if they're severe enough, keep people awake at night. And so what are their pain points? Right now in my business, a lot of people's pain point is this huge amount of stress. And it's a hidden stress that people have right now, that people are coming across and going off the deep end sometimes. And so it's finding out how to get to that pain point and them accept that pain point and say, yeah, it really is. What keeps them up at night? People aren't sleeping well through all this pandemic either. The increase of sales of sleeping pills and sleeping aids is tremendous. What we're seeing as far as what they're asking and questions that they're asking on social media, those are all things in my field that are important. What about yours? What are your clients striving for? What are their pain points and what keeps them up at night? What benefits and results do clients get from working with you? This is crucial to your introduction. What benefits, results do clients get from working with you? Why should a prospect use your product or service? What's different about your service or your company? Now, you just looked at 3 competitors. What is different about yours? What makes yours special? When you read those 2 lists, you pick the one that your prospects value and that you can deliver. Find something that your prospects want to buy, not something that you want to sell. It can be different. This is something you can put numbers to. Is it something you can put numbers to? Is it documented that you can increase their sales by 20% or some other percentage? And do you have a client quote or testimonial that would influence a prospect from that person that you've already worked with, or from these people that you've already worked with that said yes? So when you take a look at that, it helps give you the information you need to move to your elevator speech. Now, the elevator speech is something that it can adjust. It doesn't have to be the same all the time, but it helps you guide people into making referrals to you. And when you have a really good elevator speech, people understand who you work with, why you do your business, and why people will want to work with you, and then who you're looking for. And so this is a format that you can use to write any kind of elevator speech that you want. You can keep it to 30 seconds. You can keep it to 60 seconds. Depends on the group that you may be in and what you're sharing. I work with, who's your ideal target market? You just did that worksheet. Who is it? They struggle with what? What's their pain? What's their challenge? And they would like to, what do they want to get? What do they want to get to solve their challenge or their pain? And then comes, what makes my service different from others is, be specific with it if you can. Don't give away trade secrets, but go in and put, what makes my service different than others? And what is it? And then because of this client, receives what? They can give back a testimonial. So what's the claim? What's the client claim? Then give your name. I am of the business and your tagline. And everybody needs some kind of a tagline. Who do you know, or how about you? Because you've told them what you're looking for. Or would you like to know more? Who do you know that might benefit from what I offer? You can use all 3 of those, or you can use one of those questions at the end. Who do you know, or how about you? I've used that one a lot. So looking at, how you write this and how you fill it in. I'll give you an example of one that I use just so that it kind of runs together, and you juggle just a little bit. You can use a little creativity in here. I'm one of those people that, I don't like to always just fill in blank. I'm Patty, and I work with individuals who are stuck. They want to change, struggling to make the changes needed for a better lifestyle, stronger business or personal life. They want to move from stuck to stupendous. It's not just thinking outside the box, but moving outside the box. My clients are empowered to make change fun and lasting. Who do you know that's motivated but stuck? Who wants to be highly motivated and unstuck? What would you like to change? I'm Patty Pavey, Today's the Day Coaching and Hypnosis, empowering people to move from stuck to stupendous. So giving that information lets you be specific with what you might want. Now, sometimes in a group, I might want to get more specific and say I'm looking for people that smoke, who want to quit, who are laying awake at night mad because they can't give up the cigarettes. Okay. So what is it that fits in your business and with what you do for your introduction? Keep it fun. Okay. Now I mentioned tagline. We're running down here to time, I think. Tagline. Your tagline needs to be memorable. It's short. It's key benefit. Sell the sizzle, not the steak. It differentiates the brand. It imparts positive feelings, but the product, business, and the service. And so looking at a tagline, this can fit into your 30 or your 60 seconds. It can also fit into your introduction if all you're doing is just giving your name and information. And don't worry about PSA down at the bottom here, public service announcement. That's something that I also teach, and we're going to go into that just a little bit because it can be really helpful for you to break the ice. But looking at taglines, the few, the proud, the Marines. Some of these taglines, you hear it and you know, like a good neighbor, State Farm is here. Stop knocking on wood. I heard that one the other day. Can you hear me now? Tastes so good that cats ask for it by name. Melts in your mouth, not in your hand. Just do it. Probably one of the most famous taglines ever. But looking at those taglines, what is yours? What can be something just really short that it begins to identify you, and you start putting that together? It becomes very recognizable. And again, it's selling the sizzle, not the steak. Okay, so it's not really often telling what it is that you're selling, but it's telling how what you're selling can make a difference. Okay. Bill, we got any more questions coming in before I start?
No, we're up to date on the questions. We're doing fine on the time too.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Do we have a couple of questions that fit in that I need to answer?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. Let's take a look at public service announcement, or PSAs. This is something that I started teaching about 3 years ago. Really strongly in our chamber, and almost everybody now talks about their public service announcement here in Kokomo. What the public service announcement does is it helps break the ice with control and clarity. It encourages engagement and conversation. It's professional networkers want to be of service to solve a problem and to make connections for themselves and others. Now, that public service announcement, if you've watched one on television, and I know we all have, okay, it takes just a short period of time, okay, in which they give a little bit of information and then it's gone, okay. The public service announcement is something that you can use when you just meet someone out and about. It can be something that you use at a networking event when you're shaking hands with someone, and what usually, or not, shaking hands, hitting elbows, or whatever we're going to be able to do. But when we do that, it gives us the opportunity to kind of break the ice, but with still having some control to the conversation. And this is really helpful for networking so that you don't get totally off track and you don't find out anything about this person, or they find out nothing about you. So it comes back to breaking that ice. Looking at PSAs, there are some real things to remember with them that I think are real crucial. First of all, is when you introduce yourself to someone for the first time, I do not encourage you to use your last name. Okay, this is my identity. Okay, well, what happens when you introduce yourself? I've had it happen dozens and dozens of times. If I say, "Hi, glad to meet you. My name is Patty Pavey," the almost 90% of the time, I'll get someone say, "Are you related to the Paveys? Are you related to this Pavey? Are you related to?" So what happens to the conversation? I now have lost total control of where it was going to go, or of it being valuable for either one of us, because now we're talking about my name. So refrain from giving your last name. And this takes practice because we're so used to giving our name all the time. But I want them to remember what I'm saying as much as what my name is. Okay. And so when you don't give your name, the other thing that I don't encourage people to do is I don't encourage you to give your business name right off the top either. Now, what happens to me if I say, "I'm Patty Pavey and my business is Today's a Day Coaching and Hypnosis"? I have got a few people that will go, "Oh, hypnosis, my goodness, no way would I ever use that. I don't, And so I've lost it. I've lost them. I've lost the opportunity to talk or speak. I've lost the opportunity to meet them and have them have the opportunity to really get to know me. And so the other thing is that the years that I spent in Mary Kay Cosmetics, if I gave my name, even if I just used my first name and said Mary Kay Cosmetics, you had people who were like taking a step backwards and saying, "Oh man, she's going to ask me to have a party, or she's going to she wants me to sit down and I don't want to do that, and I know somebody that does it, I used it before." This whole scenario goes through in their mind. So what chance do I have to even have a great business conversation with them? What opportunity do I have to get to know them and be able to make a referral to them? What kind of an opportunity do I have if people are stuck on my last name and something that they don't like about something that is done in business? Okay. So don't use your last name, and don't mention your business name either. When you give your PSA should be something that keeps the conversation going. And that person listening to you, when you give your PSA, their first question in their mind that would pop up should be, "How do you do that? How do you do that?" And oftentimes that is what comes out of their mouth. And I love practicing these kind of things because it's always interesting to me how many times I have to keep from almost snickering, because I should keep track. How many times does the question come back at me is, "How do you do that?" Because people want to know. Okay. They want to know information. Your PSA is interesting enough that it doesn't really tell exactly what you do, but it may have an inkling to something. Okay. But what is it it sounds like? It should be 1-2 sentences. It should be very, very short. But it gives you the opportunity to keep the conversation going, because once they say, "How do you do that?" or, "Oh my gosh, that sounds interesting," now it gives you an opportunity to share one more tidbit for them to have some feedback. So a PSA is the perfect vehicle to creating communication. And it's perfect because it keeps you focused on the things that are most important in relationship to keeping a conversation going. And a conversation is twofold. A conversation is not when you're just telling and regurgitating and trying to say everything that you can say about your business and what you do and how great it is so that they are going to want to do business with you. That is not communicating, and it's not networking. But to be able to give a PSA and break the ice and still have some control and clarity involved, this is where the professional networker begins to really shine. And it's so much fun when I do big training seminars and then I'm in a group where they're networking and I like to just sit back and watch because I love it when people start using their PSA and then you see the other person lean in. They're interested. They want to know what it is. Okay. So make it short and sweet. Words to engage, be authentic and natural in it. Got a gal that I've worked with networking for years and years and years. She's been in all kinds of things that I do and things like that. She says she's one of my minions, and that's kind of, she used to be a stalker, now she's a minion, but she follows about anything that I'm going on. But she is a pampered chef consultant. And she introduces herself as the woman with flippy red hair. And she's standing right in front of you. She's got short, flippy hair. And that is her introduction, her beginning of her introduction. So it grasps people's attention in a great way that the next thing she says, they're interested in hearing in that kind of a public service announcement. So rather than even, she's, she gives her first name and then says that about herself. And people are always like, okay, what else? What else is coming? It sounds interesting. So think in terms of what can you do for PSA? What can your PSA be? Now, here's a few examples. I help people reduce chronic pain and enjoy life again. Now, of course, you say, hi, I'm Patty. I help people reduce chronic pain and enjoy life again. The next person has an opportunity to speak, and they do. I help ordinary people make sense of investments and sleep well at night. I know the investment broker that started using this after he had my class on PSAs. And he's had his very best year ever this year. And we were just talking the other day, and he said that PSA has opened more doors for me everywhere. Another one is I get people off of high sugar and sugar substitutes with soda pop, saving them money and helping them drop weight and feel better. Now that's a little longer than some of them, but it works because it hits that whole concept of weight loss, which is I don't know what the percentage is today, but it's huge in the number of people that are interested in that. Another one is I teach women how to age gracefully, which I gave that to another cosmetic company that they were teaching. I mentor teen boys and girls how to be confident men and women. How do you do that? So whatever your statement is, whatever your PSA is, that is where you want the test for it is if there's someone close to you that you can give it to get their response is, are they saying, well, how do you do that? Are they thinking, how do you do that? Or are they saying, tell me more? Okay. Some people will say, tell me more. But all of that comes in relationship to that PSA and that tagline. The tagline, use it with your introduction. The PSA used to get the conversation started and just introduce yourself maybe on a one-on-one basis. I've used it in a group. Bill used it when he introduced me. But it always brings someone that you're talking to the thought or the action and speaking. How do you do that? That's the big key. So any questions on that?
So Patty, we've got about 7 minutes to go here, and we've covered a lot of material.
I know.
I'm not sure if there's another couple slides or not. Where are you?
Yeah, there's a couple more slides to finish up. Yeah.
Okay, I'll hold back and let you go here, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay. Don't be the networker everyone wants to run from. Don't be aggressive networker, always telling about their business, always trying to sell, difficulty in answering question because they turn it back to their own agenda. They just meet you and they want a referral. Don't be that networker. How, when, and why. How to professionally, with a purpose, being clear as to your purpose in touching base with people. When
Ha-
time you, when the time you said to do so, you do it, and do touch base with someone within 14 days of the time in which you met them. Why? Because you're building a deep and wide base for a master networker. So remember to be proactive, take an honest look at what you do now to network. Where should you network? Where do your customers network? What are 3 organizations that you can investigate and join? Schedule the time that you need to do networking. Schedule the time to prepare your networking plan. Listing 5 prime people that you want to meet. Have networking as a networking skill. What do you need to do to work your funnel? And do you know someone great at networking that you could call and tag with? Do you have a touching base hand? That touching base is follow-up. And I'm going to thank you for your time today and give us a chance to ask any questions, and I'll be happy to try to answer anything.
Okay, that was great. And
That's networking 101 plus.
no, it really was great. I've attended all of the SCORE workshops for the last 5 or 7 years. And I always come away with some knowledge for myself. And I've got to say, there's a lot here that you've packed into an hour and a half. And I want to assure everybody that they're going to get a copy of your slides, because you have worksheets, which are quite valuable. And some of the slides were a little dense, and then they can have them without worrying about taking notes. But it will take us a few days to get those out. They go to everybody who's attending here. And what we do is we also send a link to the actual video that we've recorded here. And it takes us a few days to get that video edited so that we can snip off at the beginning the chit chat that we had before we really got started. Okay. But be patient. You'll get your slides. You'll get your video. I want to say that don't say your last name is going to stick with me. I never even thought of it, but you're right. Hi, I'm Bill. Why get into the Petrovic part of it? And then someone's going to say, is that Russian? And then they're going to say, hey, I went to Russia once. Have you ever been to Russia? And pretty soon you're not talking about what you want to talk about. So that's really great. And just your slide on what to say, because so many people said they were shy, they didn't know what to say. Well, if you tell them what to say what they're supposed to say and see if it works. Yeah. So that's really great. We had one question that I didn't ask or mention, and it says, how can networking work to get a government grant for business development as far as getting a product to marketplace? So it's kind of like, okay, I hear what you're saying. You think networking is what's going to get me what I want, which is a grant for my business to get it developed.
I don't know that networking per se is going to help get a grant for your business.
We're getting a little hard to hear you there. Yeah.
I'm losing my voice after this hour and a half.
Yeah.
I'm drinking throat coat tea down here, but I don't think that networking directly is going to connect you unless you're looking for a connection to help write a grant, or the right department to get to, or the right people. I would say that that's where networking would be a benefit. In the people that you know in networking, I would contact my chamber. I would contact people here at SCORE. There's probably somebody that can help with that, and who to contact, who to be in touch with. And then using that person's name to help connect. Purdue has a small business development program, and they answer questions like that and can give you referrals to who to contact and who to take place of. So as far as networking, as far as reaching out to other people, I think there's people you can reach out to, but I don't know that the networking skills that you necessarily learned here are ones that that are going to answer that specific question.
Okay, great. And that was the perfect networking answer, because you've connected the questioner to a couple other places to go to keep the ball rolling there, which is kind of what it's all about.
Yeah.
So
You might also, if who else has got it? Do you know another business that's done something similar? Call them and give your PSA and tell them that you'd like to get to know them, and you have a few questions, and if they wouldn't mind talking with you. So use that skill, the people that you meet in networking, to look outside of, and even ask, who are some people that you do network with? Ask them, hey, I'm doing this, and what's my best bet for getting this kind of a grant, and let them help guide you or give you suggestions if they have some as well.
perfect. Well, I said at the beginning we'd go an hour and a half. It's exactly 1:30. So I thank everybody for joining us. I can see from my dashboard here that you've stuck with us the whole time. We kept your attention.
Great.
And we're looking forward to sending you the materials, and also a feedback survey that we'd appreciate you filling out. So I'm going to log off, and I thank you and Patty. Thanks for sending me the slides. I'll get those out to the people. Appreciate it.
All right.
Okay, so I'm logging off. Thanks everybody, and
Thanks, everyone.
see you next time. Bye.